All right, Mike Catalana, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Welcome to Buffalo Plus. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy our content. Big game here for the Bills because today, Buffalo clinching the playoffs after beating the Falcons. All right. It's been 3 straight years of the playoffs. What does this mean for this team when we know what the history of the Bills have been for the past 20 years?
Yeah, it was bad. You all know that, right? And making that playoffs, in fact, the guys even talked about what it was like. You know, Micah Hyde was saying it's nothing like when they clinched in that game down in Miami and, the Baltimore loss. Ironically, it was a Baltimore loss today that clinched it. Very different than in the past, but it's expected now. I mean, from walking into camp. Not that they think it's a guarantee because you got to work to make the playoffs, but it really does say something. 3 years in a row, 4 in the last 5 to get it done and to make the playoffs. It really is a tribute to Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane because the culture now is as a winning team. But you know what they said today, and they're not kidding when they say this. There's plenty of work to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's very much true. I just loved how Sean McDermott said this is the standard. Like, these are the expectations, and just to see in the last 5 years how much this team has turned things around, they have a chance to win the AFC East for the second straight year. Where are the Bills at as we look ahead to the Week 18, which sounds weird, but Week 18, knowing that they're toe-to-toe with the Patriots for the AFC East?
Look, I'm going to take the positive spin on this. Josh Allen had a lousy day. I mean, he did. The positive spin is the defense played really well, especially in the second half. They got pressure with the D-line, and Devin Singletary has become a dependable running back. Reliable player for this team. Josh Allen isn't going to have 100-yard, 3-interception games very often. If he does, they're in a lot of trouble, right? I mean, it's Josh Allen. He had a bad game today. He was spectacular last week. The reason I say to spin to that part is, we need it. You need it at times. Right here in this place a year ago when they played Baltimore in the playoffs, what did they need? They needed the defense and the running game to come through, and that's how you won in the postseason. So I'll say that. Where are they right now? They're ahead of the Patriots. They're in a position to clinch that playoff spot, but they better be ready to play certainly next week, even against the Jets, who were tough today against the Bucs.
I think the biggest takeaway for me in this game is just that this team has other ways to win other than Josh Allen having to play out of his mind. Look, we saw what he did in Foxborough, how impressive that was, but I think it gives you a little bit of confidence if you're a Bills fan because, yes, Allen did not have a great day.
No, he had a bad day.
He had a straight-up bad day, but at the same point, just seeing this Bills run game get going because we talked so much earlier on in the season, in the middle portion of the season, even last month, about when is this run game going to get going? Do they even need to try and run the ball because it's been so ineffective? I just think that's a huge step. Again, you don't want to have your franchise quarterback have a bad day, but it's nice knowing that you can change things up, albeit against the Falcons.
This was a rare time today that I think Brian Daboll went to the running game because he thought that might have been a better option today.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it was, Josh was, I won't say rattled. He doesn't really get rattled. But I thought today he got out of his game. He made a couple of those mistakes. And I think Daboll said, we're going to stick the ball in 26 hands and we're going to let him run. And he was good. And it wasn't, I mean, it's not like they're the Indianapolis Colts running the ball, but 100-plus yards, dependable, getting in the end zone. And the defense shutting them out in the second half made a difference. But there was a while today where I thought, God, usually you're sitting here going, let Josh throw it. Something good's going to happen. Now, some good things did happen. Early on, he was throwing it. And we can't forget the Gabe Davis catch.
That was impressive.
That was spectacular. That was a great catch along the sidelines, and it helped lead to that second touchdown. And, Beasley looked good on the inside. They got him the ball a few times. Diggs is Diggs and all that. But the passing game was hardly anything. You're right. They relied on the running game today, and I think it was because it was their best offense. And you heard Dion after the game. This is great for the offensive line when they get going like this.
Yeah, and then also he says it's just nice the fact that you can have it not be on Josh's shoulders. Like other guys can pick Allen up. I will say, I also like the maturity from Allen. I feel like in years past, if he were to throw 3 interceptions, he would be very rattled, maybe question his confidence, maybe question some of his reads. But I felt like, you saw him with some huge runs down the stretch and even that 4th and 1, picking up the yards that he needed to. I feel like he's confident, as he should be, but I think it was just that maturity and that poise that I saw as well.
Yeah, he needed that. He took some shots today, too.
He did.
Yeah. I mean, you're down on the field. You see what happens to him. Everybody's going to yell at me because you don't always put the microphone back. And then I see people, they say,
oh,
Jenna, we can't hear you as well. And they think I speak loudly.
You do.
Okay.
I just need to be louder in general. I just need to assert my dominance over Mike Catalana and just scream into the mic like he does.
That's it.
Okay, quick aside, whenever we're doing this, I'll have Mike do a mic check. And he always talks very softly, so I turn the mic down, and then as soon as we're live, he'll start shouting into the mic like this. So
that's my brand.
That's so on brand. It truly is. All right, we got a little sidetracked.
Yeah, we did. But in terms of this, the AFC is wild right now.
Wild.
It is. How about Kansas City getting knocked off against the Bengals and losing that 1 seed now, where the Titans?
The Titans.
You know, they talk about Coach of the Year. I don't love the guy, but, man, give Vrabel a lot of credit with that team. When they lost, you know, their Derrick Henry superstar running back, and they keep finding ways to win. Now, we don't know what's going to happen next week. It could all change again. Kansas City could be back to 1. You know, we don't know what's going to happen with the Bengals and all. We don't know what the Bills' matchup is, but we know what it is right now.
It's the Patriots.
Yeah, but that could change. I mean, that could change by next week. So we'll have to wait to see because, you know, week after week, something different happens. But I think this team is feeling okay. I think you made a good point earlier when you said they have other ways they can win, and that's what they did in this one.
And now they have a chance to go and win the division for the second time in a row.
Yeah, especially where they were a few weeks ago after that loss in Tampa, you know, where they're a game and a half behind the Patriots. And here it is, Week 17 here in this building against the Jets. I'm sorry, you have to win that game.
Yeah.
Like, the Jets played tough. They're playing hard for their coach. They almost beat the Super Bowl champs today. But in the same way, you're home against the Jets. You have to win. And that, think about it, the Bills could win the division on the last day of the season, and the Patriots would lose the division because of the first game of the season when they lost to Miami. And that's where, you know, these division games, man, it'll come back to haunt you. And it is to New England right now. Tough for them, but it would be good for the Bills. You win next week, no matter what the Patriots do, you're the AFC East champs.
Ooh, it just sounds good.
It does, and it sets them up because right now they're the 4 seed.
Correct.
And, you know, we'll have to see what ends up happening if they can move up at all, which might be good for them. It does create different matchups. We don't know. We don't know who's going to be 5, 6. We don't know. We don't know a lot.
We don't. I'm glad you can admit that.
Yeah.
No, we don't. Real quick, who do you think is the Bills' best playoff matchup right now?
The best matchup for them, who's going to make the playoffs, honestly, I'd take my chances with Vegas if Vegas were to sneak in at the end. And then it might be New England still. Wow. I mean, only because of Mac Jones. Now, you know, they obviously were better today. Jacksonville was in trouble. But again, in terms of the other teams, I don't love them against the Colts. We've talked about that a lot. So if the Colts get back in there, that is an issue for them. But the Colts got knocked off today. So, look, if the Bills play their game and Josh Allen is good, I'm not as worried about the first round, even against the Colts. Even here, I think they're the better team with the better quarterback. Correct. But that being said, you know, you take one little step back, and we saw it here in the playoffs. They almost lost to the Colts, could have lost to the Ravens, and they end up surviving both. So, as I said a couple minutes ago, it's wide open in the AFC. So it's win and survive and move to the next thing. Today, like Josh always says, playoffs have already begun. This is kind of a playoff game. They won it. They got another one next week.
Time to buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. All right, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll have plenty more coverage as the Bills get ready to face off against the Jets for the AFC East title. We'll have that coming up on Buffalo Plus. For right now, though, for Mike, I'm Jenna. Thanks so much for watching. Our battery's going to die.
Yeah, I figured as much.